you and good afternoon everyone. Thank you Dr. Bhatia and Dr. Alok for this. Before this panel discussion, we met and we decided few things. We are going to keep it sweet and simple, short, and then we'll likely to have more questions from the students and the audience. And what we realized is we have to spend lots of time in the introduction. We as a group decided that we'll spend 20 seconds, not more than 20 seconds in the introduction. Starting with me, I think I'll start and then I'll pass it on. My name is Adarsh Srivastava. Dr. Alok already mentioned. I'm head of data analytics and research. IVD Data Insights in Roche, and I'm working to build ethical AI in the organization because I'm coming from a healthcare background. So what we're trying to do is to build what it takes to have ethics embedded into AI. And this is something which I'm passionate about and I do. And I think, yeah, 20 seconds is done for myself.
Hey, I am Srinivas Kotamati. I am the CEO of eBullion Private Limited. So we are a digital platform where we let Indian investors, Indian audience buy and sell precious metals in a digital form. Gold, silver, platinum and palladium. I overall have 20 plus years of experience where I worked at JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley, and I have been an entrepreneur in health insurance technology for around 5.5 years where I used AI in health claims area. So yeah, thanks a lot, and congratulations on getting a university status. Very happy to be present in this momentous occasion for you guys.
Thank you. My name is Panchal Mittal. I am Director of AI for 3 companies today, Cirrus.ai, Ziki and UKO. We are into real estate, and I think real estate is totally untapped. And we are the first one who are bringing like AI and technologies into this particular sector. I come up with like more than 15 years of experience. Started my career with Accenture Management Consulting, built one startup, failed one startup, and sold one. So I'm good. Thank you. Please join us. Search me on LinkedIn, and if you are interested in AI, let's talk.
Hi everyone, very good afternoon. I am Mezabeen. I take care of IT and digital at Rekem RPG. It's a manufacturing company. It's a Harsh Goenka RPG group company.
Hey guys, good afternoon. My name is Sanju Burkule, and I had a company called Applied AI Consulting. So we started in 2019, and the goal is to help these 5 business units, which are HR, finance, sales and marketing, engineering, to create different stacks, which are AI stacks, to improve the productivity of these units. So before that, I had sold one company to Hitachi Vantara. It was an infrastructure cloud migration company, just helping people to migrate their applications to the Amazon cloud. So we had created a couple of patents there, which Hitachi liked, and we sold that company to Hitachi Vantara. So I am basically IT infrastructure guy, where I know that world very well for global 2000 companies, large data centers. Thanks.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. Because the topic is localization, so here goes. माझं नाव नील जाधव आहे. मी Ketonic AI मध्ये काम करतो. If you're ever looking for an example where you don't start in AI but end up in AI, I could be one, because I started in appliances, Godrej Appliances, then I worked in aviation for around 10 years. And 2 years ago, when the startup got funded, I moved here and I look after marketing and growth for Ketonic AI. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you. Myself is Shiva Prasad. I am from Vodafone Intelligence Services. We do take care of basically technology across Vodafone Group. Okay. And widely actually we have inventing application of an AI in the technology space as well. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Parul. I have spent around 17 years doing marketing. So happy to be sitting on a panel on marketing localization using AI. Have done many brand launches, product launches. I've worked on global projects, local projects, regional projects. So I really look forward to some enriching discussions. And all the marketing guys out there, look forward to talking to all of you.
Thank you, probably. And then probably let's start with this. Okay. When I read this long topic which we had for the panel discussion, I thought that let's start with what exactly is marketing localization. And in a simple terms, when somebody who is not from that background try to understand what is marketing localization, and let's continue this conversation with yes, it is marketing localization. Now, how AI is getting integrated into it, how we are leveraging AI into marketing localization, and how it is kind of taking up the role which we all are playing.
Okay, so if I have to add my 2 cents to it, marketing localization is when you are taking a campaign and localizing it to the need of a specific segment. It could be demographic. For example, there's a national campaign that Modi launches, and that is regionalized, but the language translation is for each state. There is a Tamil Nadu version, there is a Maharashtra version. Neil introduced himself in Marathi because we are sitting in Pune. Why it is important and why marketing localization helps marketeers? Because it is important for marketing to connect to your audience. Okay, I'm speaking today. I need to connect with my audience and tell you why localization is important. And that happens when I speak the language you speak. And therefore localization happens not only in the language, in the kind of pictures we are using, in the kind of content we are publishing. So there are many segments we do. And today AI has become a very easy way. And I remember my days when I was a product manager and brand manager in Amway. We used to launch a product and फिर हम उसको translation के लिए भेजते थे. इसके मराठी version, French, Tamil versions चाहिए. आज you have to just put one master file in generative AI and it gets you options of multiple languages spoken in India, and you can run media on these versions. You get better open rates and CTRs.
I think Parul, you mentioned a very right point. Like saying like market localization is a very easy term, but think from an Indian context, right? We are a population of 1.4 billion now, right? There are 22 official languages being spoken in India, 19,500 dialects and cultural references which goes around. And if you see, like most of our population who consume online video content still stays in rural area, who don't even understand English. And actually, if you look at the data from data point of view, 84% of online video content that is consumed in India is consumed in language other than English, right? So now if you think about a marketer, from a marketer standpoint, if you have to convert all the content which is available on internet, all the websites into Hindi, the first thing that comes to everyone's mind is like Google Translator क्यों नहीं use कर लेते, right? So let me give you an example of a Google Translator. If you search an idiom, out of sight, out of mind, Google Translator इसका जवाब देगा आंखों से ओझल, दिमाग से ओझल, right? Which is not what it means. It means जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. So see the difference between what Google Translator is giving you and what you actually means. Now think about all the websites which are made in English right now, and those websites are given to a lady sitting in Karnataka in some outskirts, and she wants to browse an e-commerce website. Like she cannot do anything, like nothing she can do. And I think AI, as Adarsh mentioned, like AI is shaping up all these things, because if you see now Amazon Rufus, which is built on conversational AI, or Meesho's semantic research on like regional languages, like these are game changers. So yeah, you are right. Like there were problems, and now it is getting solved day by day.
Right. You want to go next?
Yeah, I just want to add something from my experience. So as I said, we sell digital precious metals. So when I observe the trends of digital gold, it fascinates me, the marketing localization aspect of it. Like Diwali, Dhanteras is upcoming, right? So what we see is North India shows a lot of interest during this time. Akshay Tritiya, when it comes, South India shows interest. And during Ganesh Chaturthi and Navratri and all, the West, Maharashtra and all, and Durga Puja, the Bengalis and all. So apart from the language aspect of it, the culture aspect of it, and how that shapes the behavior, the consumer behavior, that is one thing that I have observed. I also want to share one more in the health claim domain that I have observed. Well, something very fascinating I have learned in Middle East. we had made the health claims automation software, auto adjudication software using AI. And when we went to Middle East, we realized we had to have a feature for VIPs. There is a lot of VIP culture, and they needed the VIP treatments and the claim process to follow through a different kind of a process. So we had to actually introduce a new feature. So while it's about communicating the existing offering to multiple areas, sometimes you have to go back and innovate your product and bring back to the local market where the features that make sense to the local market. Just wanted to add this.
Neil, good.
So one practical example of doing this at scale. And this is something that we're working on. So there's a large e-commerce company, and they have multiple customers, right, who buy various different things. The same organization, you have someone buying diapers, someone buying food items, toys, all of them. At the end of the year, they want to create a thank you video, right? In terms of this is who you are, this is what you bought. Like you bought 400 packs of diapers, which is good enough to wrap this auditorium completely. Just things, fun stuff like this. So if you want to do this personalization, localization at scale, right? And don't think of it just by region. Think of it from an audience point of view is what I would say. You can actually put all of this, create segments out of this, then create, and depending on the kind of prompts that you're giving, you can create a custom script out of it, and then you can actually put that script up and create personalized videos out of it. So at the end of the year, earlier what would happen is that you would do this manually. At best you would create 20 segments saying this is a dad, this is a, this is probably a teenager who's interested in music, but no, now you can create segment of one, which is actually becoming possible.
Thank you. And then, as Parul mentioned and you were mentioning, it is changing the paradigm of the marketing localization, right? Let's talk more on how it is impacting the overall strategy of the organization which are looking at marketing localization. How introduction of AI, especially with the advent of generative AI, there's a difference. We are working on a different dimension, especially in creative areas and marketing areas. How this is impacting. Let's talk about that.
I can take that.
Let me just I will add it actually. So with both the questions I will address it properly. When we look at it in localizations, majorly so I see it in such a way that actually they're respecting the culture of that local bodies over there. Because if you take example of us as an Indians, actually we, not only Indians, anybody for that matter actually, so we are sentimental, actually attached to the emotions. There are a lot of instances where the new companies, organizations who has been introduced their products and they could not able to click. Not just because of their product was good or not good, it's because they have failed to reach to that audience or the consumers basically, so they could not even touch the heart of the consumers. This is one of the very important aspects. It could be a language, it could be a shape of the product, or it could be a flavor of the product, or it could be anything else. If it is not reaching any of the local bodies, so it may not be come out. And we could able to see lot of organizations. It's an domain agnostic, I would say. Okay, they are all bringing a flavor of localizations. So coming to your second point as well, actually the marketing, the strategies which are coming into the picture, actually I would say the AI up to a great extent actually which is helping a lot. Major one is the personalization of the campaigns or the building up contents basically. So the vast content actually which is coming into the picture. Yeah, why it is not possible human manually doing it? It is very much possible. But when the data comes into the picture, the humongous data when it is coming into the picture and processing those data by a human, actually it's a kind of a very, very tedious and the time consuming. But whereas if you are using an AI, almost actually the 70-80% of the time frame actually we can able to reduce it by processing the AI itself. However, it is not a cakewalk again, okay, because we cannot use the process data straightforward. The question comes as an authenticity, data protections, many things are there as well. Okay, yeah, that's where actually the human body comes into the picture. In the morning, actually, somebody was asking a question, actually, the creativity point of view. I still say that human will not go behind here. Human mentality or the intelligence will not go behind here, because AI is a machine, we should not forget about it. It is helping us. Okay, it's not overriding us, unless otherwise we are getting surrendered to that.
A very important question, Adarsh, because we need to realize why marketing localization is important. And especially in marketing department, a brand manager wants to create a new campaign every time. That's how it starts. If it is a new launch, if it is a regional campaign, sir rightly mentioned that Akshaya Tritiya campaign launch karna hai kisi product ka. Navratra campaign, Kolkata is very high. People do Kolkata. Everything starts from scratch for marketers, and it is more a brand manager's delight to do a campaign from start. But as an organization, as a company, imagine the kind of budget spends that happen. And I worked in Accenture as well, Banshil would add to it, where at the global companies and we used to work on global to local models, So for a brand like Nike, there is one campaign made globally. And then you regionalize it or you adapt it to Asia Pacific requirements or Europe requirements. But the brand emotion, the brand play, the brand, color, tone, logos all remain the same. You just regionalize, and that's why most international brands maintain a very strong brand equity, because you'll see the same components of the campaign. However, in a lot of new companies, I would say, not really entrepreneur setups, but in general other established companies also, we see that every campaign may come out with a different color or a different logo unit, which is not right, because that is not helping build a brand equity. So localization helps in multiple points. Number one, it helps save money for an organization, because at a global level and at local and regional levels, there's a lot of amount of money which is saved from the marketing P&Ls. That's one. Second is it builds brand equity. It is same color of Coke that we see all across, red. It is same color of good brands, and that's how it adds up to the neuroscience recall that okay, this is the color, then it's Amazon, A to Z. If it is a Swoosh, it's a Nike, because they're maintaining that standards across the brand. So it helps build brand equity. And third is a lot of kind of efforts and energy saved for marketers, because it's not good to start everything from scratch. So these three from my side. I'd like the panel to add if you want.
So I just add from a startup perspective. So I worked in US in the late 90s, and then some large companies like BMC Software. Then I started my startup. So from a startup perspective, you don't have money, so budget is a key thing here. And when you look at the organizational setup of a large company, they have like 2 to 3 people in many different countries. Okay, they will have like 2 people in Belgium, 3 people team, sales and marketing team in let's say London, and a few people in east and west coast of US, central US. So now as a startup, when you are trying to create a brand, a global brand, how AI can actually help is just create these avatars. So this is one thing I have tried. Okay, there may be many other solutions, but if I create a Emma for selling in UK, okay, the same campaign, the same messages, the same outflow, she gets a higher response rate, and she is like a virtual Emma. But a Sanju Burkule sending exactly the same thing, I don't get a response rate. Okay, a localization actually helps, and you cannot afford to have these 100K salaries as a startup. You cannot afford to hire these people in different countries, and so AI can help in, if you have one very good idea, you can capture a large part of the market globally. Okay, and if your idea is bad, no matter what AI tool you use, it doesn't work. Okay, if you're doing, let's say, a simple mobile app or a web development company, no matter what you use, there are hundreds of people doing that same thing. So AI is not going to help market and localize in any of those segments. So this has been some of my experience.
Yeah, sure. So, couple of things. One, from a marketing point of view, and so many of you here are marketing students. Localization is nothing which is new. you have been, I mean, marketers have been doing localization since marketing has been around, because that's the way you kind of get into a market, and that's the way you kind of, curate your product for a better uptake in a certain geography. Like Shiv added that, right, like Shiv added that, we discuss so many factors. We discuss demographics, we discuss content, we discuss the look and feel or the taste of a product. But like he added, sentiment is a big aspect when it comes to marketing, where you want to do localization. So you're all students, you all have been studying marketing, and you would have, if not now, maybe in your careers in corporates, if you would be handling geographies, you would learn about cultural nuances, the factors which impact how you decide on your marketing strategy. Very simply put, I think there are just 6 categories which everyone watches out for. There is attitude towards power, there is attitude towards uncertainty, there's attitude towards time, there's an attitude towards motivation of success and achievement, there's attitude towards autonomy, and then there is attitude towards pleasure. These are the 6 metrics that all of you are going to study when you're going to study about how to handle different geographies. And there are metrics which defines, there'll be clusters, there'll be countries which will be more responsive to a hierarchical nature. There'll be countries which will be more egalitarian societies. And similarly on all of these 6 aspects there will be things. So if you go to, let's say, Saudi, and you're sitting in a conversation with somebody, with an Arab, you don't go them and ask, how's your wife? The deal is done. It's just not happening. You don't do that. But this is local knowledge which you take forward, and that's how you go and do your marketing. What AI brings to the table is how it helps you fast track things on a massive scale. That's what AI adds value to. And for AI to add value, there has to be a lot of data which has to be backing it. So when, Adarsh asked that, what's the strategy? Strategy is to bring in data. Today, the way businesses operate, the data is not available. Things would be manual. Unless you digitize your processes, unless you ensure that you're bringing in data, there is no way that you're going to give anything to any AI engine to give you any sort of intelligence back. I'll give you one very simple example from the industry I work in. So I'm from manufacturing, right? And the product that we make, we are into manufacturing of power utilities. So very simply explained, there are cables which run underground, which transmit electricity, right? The cables are like at best 500 meters long, and you will have to do a jointing after every half a kilometer. And we are in the business of manufacturing the cable jointing kits. That's one of the product that we make. We also make power transformers, safety equipment for electricals and all of that. In transformers, we are right now working on building a smart transformer, which is a smart product. And I was discussing, I think, with Sanju sometime back on smart grids, which are running. And I don't know if how many of you know, during COVID there was once a major power shutdown which happened in Mumbai, and that was not something which was a fault in the grid, but it was sort of an attack where we were using smart grids, and from some command center the entire power for the city was brought down. So when we are working on products like that, and like we are working on building a smart transformer, where what we plan to do is we want to give to our customers a transformer which, before it breaks down, gives me an indication that, listen, these are the parameters which are not doing good, and my predictive analysis says that this is going to break down in the next 5-10 days. Can you do an upfront service to ensure that there is no breakdown? For us to reach that level, we'll have to train that model for data for over 2 to 3 years. And then we kind of get into a state where we are able to do some bit of predictive analysis. So without data, everything that we talk here is in the air. So basically the strategy is to build data, how to digitize all our processes to get in data, and how to get discipline around it.
So just coming in, because I think it's time that we add one more layer to this, to what you said about data. So Gen AI is a little different from traditional AI, right? Predictive AI. where what was the thing, right? You had one model for one use case, right? We used to take tons of data and then, create a model which would say predict something, forecast something, regret, whatever, right? But with Gen AI, I think things are looking a little different here. And let me elaborate that with an example. You may not have data, but the model has been trained on a lot of data. Obviously, you can augment that data with, RAG, what you were talking about earlier, right? Which is your own company knowledge. So maybe you're right, just adding one layer to that would be that you need to teach, the model would not know about your product or your, who you are or what you're trying to sell, right? So take an example, you're selling a soap, beauty soap. You're selling in India, you're doing well. Now you want to move to say Thailand, right? Different country, different climate, different people. So you know everything about your product. You know what kind of audience is using it, price point, your competition, everything. You don't know anything about Thailand, right? You can rely on Gen AI to actually figure out what the competition is, what are they using, what are the kind of segments. Adding another sub-layer to this. Now models have a lagging, they lag not hallucination so much. The data that they've been trained on is a little, older, right? As in probably 6 months older, right? So they may not have current example. But you can have extensions. So, or what OpenAI has just recently released, which was Search GPT, which in addition to the knowledge that the Gen AI model has, it augments that by looking at information available on the internet. So yes, you need data about who you are because the model doesn't know that. But everything else, it can sort of leapfrog you to the next level.
So just wanted to address the question, how are we using AI in our regular marketing? So some very simple things we are doing actually to send targeted push notifications. And the point you were saying, I'm saving a lot of my time, my team's time and cost, wherein I am using Gen AI to give, asking it for suggestions. Give me a short phrase that I can send to so-and-so target customer, on so-and-so occasion. And also generating blog content, which is needed for search engine optimization as well as for the customers to find information on a particular products and website and all. Of course, what I've realized is blindly done this content can sound like ChatGPT. The prompts have to be very, very specific, where you are adding your own flavor, the soul of your company, and give the prompt and then refine it with further more chat and all. So that is another place where we're using also generating pictures from AI for our blogs and all. And also another aspect is the analysis of the data. While we all don't have access to huge data, in B2C particularly your company's own data there is enough. So they're coming up with predictive models is also something that is helping. And apart from that, from the marketing perspective, chatbot, Gen AI driven chatbot is a must for any particularly B2C companies of today. So I just wanted to add this.
And maybe that leads to our next question, Adarsh, but I'm taking that leap that only Gen AI won't work. It needs something as a supervision. Maybe I'll leave Adarsh to complete that.
I think it's a very interesting topic, and we are so passionate about this that we keep talking about it the whole day, the whole night. But in the interest of time, I think we should open the panel for the questions from the audience, and then answer the questions. So any questions from the audience, from the students sitting at the back? Somebody, yes, please.
Hello sir, good afternoon. My name is Vaishnavi Sardar, and my question is that we are always rely on the AI. We don't think much about anything. So how can we grow our thinking without using the ChatGPT or anything?
So it's more of a perils of AI. How can we avoid perils of AI? Thank you. And yes, me and Panchil were discussing about this, that we have to bring this topic of ethics of AI into market localization. And thank you for the question. I think Panchil got the opportunity to talk about that as well.
Thanks, Vaishnavi, for your question. So Vaishnavi, I don't think I think it is like a common question that was addressed in the previous panel as well. Like, will AI take away your creativity? Answer is no. It will augment your creativity, right? So what exactly AI is doing is AI is taking all the things that you could have done without you moving a finger, right? Basically, that is, for example, you don't have to memorize something, right? You don't have to memorize design principles. You just have to know them. You just have to understand कि ऐसा कुछ होता है, and it will take care of everything कि ऐसा क्या होता है. And then you have like, so for example, our brain has like only 4 MB of RAM available for us. At one shot, we can only imagine 4 things at a time, right? So leave that space of 4 MB for doing creative stuffs and let every other like memory cram कर लो, table cram कर लो, ये कर लो, वो ChatGPT को करने दो यार. मतलब, like why you want to do the things that like a computer or a calculator can do for you, right? Think about like more creative stuff. For example, I think Srinivas was saying this thing. For in real estate, like where we are present, brochure designing, right? So 50 pages का brochure बना सकता है marketing वाला 5,000 रुपए लेके, right? हम कहते हैं कि हम उसको एक क्लिक में बना देंगे 7 seconds में. तो वो पूछता है कि अच्छा फिर मैं क्या करूँगा? Point is नहीं कि तू क्या करेगा? Like point ये है ही नहीं. Point the power that we are adding is like I can create a brochure for Vaishnavi, I can create a brochure for Adarsh, I can create a brochure for Parul based on what they want, not what I want, right? That is like how, but that creativity has to come from somewhere. मेरे को ही बताना पड़ेगा कि आदर्श के लिए क्या बनाना है, right? But बनवा मैं किसी और से सकता हूँ, right? So just use them as like your vendors, your tools for day-to-day life, and then your life will be augmented. Like, so I think that is. Does I able to answer your question? Okay, thank you. क्योंकि यार जब मैं कॉलेज में क्वेश्चन
I was and Neil, I'm sure you also want to add, but you know that's where the division of roles have to happen. AI is your manager to do the first draft. Okay, the first draft, and then the creative elements, the improvisations of it can only come from human brain, and therefore the two together is the perfect combination. And in consulting and advertising firms, the conversations that are happening, and I'll not name the organizations, I'm not allowed to, is that how much of our productivity can be saved once we use AIs or open AIs as first draft options, and then the human intelligence come and improvises it with better copywriting, better creative, better narration. So right, like Neil was saying, it's important to use it as your sub junior, but then add over it, the final output is much better.
And this one point which I generally talk to lots of students, and then everybody asks me that okay, because we watch the Instagram reels and watch videos in YouTube at 2x speed, our attention span is very short, right? And then people are looking for the solutions, especially younger generation. They're looking for a solution how I can increase my attention span. The problem is that what we are trying to do is, because we are so overwhelmed with the information, we try to keep everything inside. We try to read as much as we can. We try to watch as much as I can, and that is where we go wrong, because we, as Panchil mentioned, we have a very limited standing memory. So what we have to do is, the panelists before us, they talked about it, that what all you need to know is, do you know how to ask the right question, and use the AI as a tool to get the answer when you need it, rather than asking questions whole day and watching hundreds of videos and not getting anything out in the return at the end of the day.
I'll just add something, and I beg to differ from what the panel says, or my fellow panelists have said. It will kill creativity. So when you say that if AI is there, with and sweetheart, you can sit down, you don't have to stand. It will kill creativity because it will not allow you to think, because everything is very readily available. But that's how it's going to be, and that's how that's what's coming. So how do you preserve your creativity in the face of something which is available there? It's as simple as saying that okay, I want to have better focus, I want to have better attention, but I also have social media. So it's a balance that you got to strike. One valid point which Parul said is that use it as a sub-junior, which basically means that when you are kind of doing your stuff, don't rush to it for anything and everything. I mean, when I keep telling my team, please don't write emails using ChatGPT. They are so impersonal. They are so dry. It is like right out of the mouth of a robot. You just cannot decipher whether, what the person's sentiment is, because it's very, very, transactional. It is completely devoid of sentiment. So yes, it kills creativity. When I am writing an email, there will be certain words I use, there's a certain tonality I have, there's a certain way I handle things. It is just going to kind of, take all that out of it and just put the facts into place. So there is definitely an element which will take out creativity. You will have to figure out that balance yourself. There's no direct right or wrong answer to this.
Thanks a lot for this question. I think everybody in the panel got energized by this question, and thanks for this angle you brought in. I think it was brought up in the morning. We have to remember consciousness is what makes us, and creativity, and we have to remember stuff like meditation, wellness, and all these things. And it is scary. Let's not, while we are trying to defend AI here, I would like to thank the co-panelist for bringing this angle. Let's also not discard that it is scary, and rely on these methods, the traditional methods, meditation, etc., to be connected with yourself, right? While these technologies are intruding, they are trying to overtake you. For you to identify and connect with yourself is much more important. That's what I wanted to say.
A very different view on this. An observation: as you grow in your career and you start dealing with senior folks. I've worked on some government projects as well. The expectation, the shorter the patience and the shorter the answer. So nobody's looking for paragraphs or answers, right? People are looking for your view. And if that critical, and my job depends on more people using AI, so I'm still saying this. If you don't build that critical, thinking muscle, you will struggle, right? So the ability to understand, summarize, and not the summarization of a large PDF into a paragraph, right? As in, what can you draw out of it? You have to do it, and you have to do it now.
Yeah. I'll just add one global angle to this. See, we are talking about localization at different country level. Okay. Let's assume you have 15 to 20 different problems. Let's say buying a house, buying something. Okay. So now that everybody in the world has a capability to become localized inside Pune and talk in Marathi in front of me, correct? You have to think about which are those top 50 companies that are going to win in the world. And it is not about, so the speed matters over here.
Yes.
Okay, this is going to really move very fast. Somebody who has done something in some, let's say, South American country can come over here with a solution in my local language. And it can be better. If it's the best in the world, they will be able to sell to me. So this is going to be a tough game. Okay, marketing is going to be tough because few people will win fast because of this aspect of talking in the local language, which was released last couple of weeks back, right? Now the APIs are still getting released, but as that improves in the next year or so, as different videos are getting presented to us, whatever basic problem most of the people face, I think few companies will win, and we'll have to figure other things out. So it's not going to be like so many local companies selling in the local market.
So yeah, I think you raised this point of consciousness, right? I think consciousness is very important. Like where exactly you want to reach. Like, so I'm a movie person, so whenever someone talks to me about AI, so I just bring in Iron Man. Like Tony Stark, Iron Man ban sakta hai, but usko Jarvis chahiye, right? So like AI is like that ChatGPT or OpenAI or whatever, like MedGemini for that matter, is like that Jarvis. You guys are Tony Stark. You want to become Iron Man, use that Jarvis and become Iron Man, right? Like Jarvis cannot become Iron Man unless Tony Stark is there. So the entire consciousness is you, and these are all the tools that are available for you to scale yourself up, right? And that is what it is like, and that's how AI is defined for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. On the panelists, actually, whatever they said, absolutely right, and it's coming to the same point as well. Definitely, human interactions will never go. Just to give a very practical example, okay, I also start using in ChatGPT's Copilot, especially the Copilot, because it's a Microsoft brand. Initially, I started using it, and it was awesome. Okay, the kind of emails actually it can able to give it as awesome. I was pretty happy, and I started using it. Students, this is for all of you and everyone. And after some time, I could able to see that actually, there is no zeal in it actually, what it is writing. And more than that, I could able to sense it. Oh, this guy is also using ChatGPT now, or Copilot, because the kind of how it is articulating, you can able to sense it. Oh, this is not he. Actually, it's a Copilot. Then the things have been opened up. Actually, no, something is not right. Actually, I am losing my own. Okay. Then I started another trial stating that, okay, this is how we can able to shorten this. That was giving it very well. Then I realized that actually, our creativity cannot be replaced by a ChatGPT or the Copilot or any of the AI tool. As you rightly said, everyone rightly said, we have to be very clear on what we want. It's a machine. We should not forget about it. And it is not that actually, we are a prompt engineers, we need to prompt it. No, actually, no. So AI is awaiting for a prompt. Okay? It is prompting us, stating that, hey guy, you tell me, actually, what you want. Okay? That we never forget about it. What we want, how we are asking it, that itself is a creativity. The rest of the routine job, whatever is the duplicacy, let it handle it, not by us. Okay,
Thank you. And one thing which I realized is, like, if you put 7-8 marketing people in a group, they can talk for weeks without getting tired. I think with that we are way ahead of our time, so I'd like to
comment. If there are wrap-ups, anybody wants to do, you're free to do them.
No, means I think if we want to take another question from the group, or we want
I just want to ask one question. How many of you would fly a plane driven by AI and has no pilot in it? Put your hands up.
No, I will do it.
You will fly a plane. You will fly in a plane and not feel very scared or insecure about it. So here about 4 hands, and I saw, okay, another 6 hands. Ditto with
Pilot drinking in the cockpit.
Yeah, say that again on the mic.
So I'm saying like I'm more scared about a pilot drinking in the cockpit and then flying.
I can't take the name of the brand. पर उसके पायलट हमेशा पिए हुए रहते हैं।
सर मैं भी उन्हीं पायलट के साथ बैठ के डरा हुआ रहता हूँ। So I think I should better believe in AI, which is not drinking and smoking and following the rules and procedure, than a pilot who is drinking and smoking.
कहीं तो डिफेक्ट हो गया तो
वो तो सर उसमें भी हो सकता है।
हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
But you rightly mentioned the point, Dr. Bhatia. The two together is the best combo. Yeah. Individually, alone one, I think complementary is where the space is, where AI and human intelligence would really bring miracle and is bringing miracles. And the earlier panels did bring that out.
The reality of what is happening is everybody on OTT panel is trying to use films related to AI and trying to create love stories and romances, forgetting that Shakespeare existed on this earth, forgetting that we have our own Gulzar on this earth, and forgetting that dekha hai khwab to silsile hue. Many of them are forgetting that. Now the question is, what I don't know, sometimes I feel I'll only be watching robots in the films, in the voice of actresses. Actually, there was one demo today morning. I had taken permission from the chairperson of this institute. I was supposed to get a robot. Her name was Roma, and she was supposed to sing all the songs that the chairman of this institute liked. Unfortunately for me, my boss passed away. Mr. Tata passed away this morning, and therefore we couldn't get that thing organized. I cut it off, and I was so low that I didn't know whether I would be able to stand. I still am low. But Alok, I want you to say a very special thank you. You want to come up and do it, Raji? Okay, what are you eating? And you haven't given me lunch as yet. देखो वेदांत, हाँ चलिए।
I must say that it was a wonderful panel.
तो माइक पे बोलो यार, माइक।
It was such a wonderful panel. The content